Welcome to Last Weekly, where we talk, laugh, and sometimes bitch about the highs and lows of the past week. Except this week, because we're giving you an all-new Trailer Talk special episode, where we'll be reviewing trailers that just dropped or are trending this week, including action thriller Tom Clancy's Without Remorse. Should Michael B. Jordan be feeling remorse about agreeing to star in this movie? Netflix's new series, Jupiter's Legacy. Will Josh Duhamel's superhero family drama be super disappointing? HBO Max's Those Who Wish Me Dead. After seeing Angelina Jolie's new thriller, will we wish we were dead? Apple TV Plus's The Mosquito Coast. Will we be using mosquito repellent to protect ourselves from Justin Theroux's newest drama series? The coming attraction Action starts now. I'm Kevin Williams, and I'll be trailer talking with my two incredible co-hosts, Anthony Tone Show Nunez.
Kevin, there's no twaddles, just straight up trailer reviews here.
Twaddle-free episode, y'all. And Dayngr.
Oh, that's what's good.
No twaddle. Everything is good over here.
I know. My daughter said I should say that's what's good.
That's what's good.
I'm like, okay.
Gen Z's listening now.
Yeah.
Oh my God. So we're going to totally get the Gen Y audience thanks to that.
Yeah, that's
all
what's
right.
good.
We'll start mentioning it in all our social media posts about the episode. All right, Tone. So what is our first victim this week?
Without Remorse is an upcoming action thriller directed by Stefano Sollima and written by Taylor Sheridan and Will Staples. It is based on the Jack Ryan novels, and it is a spin-off of the Jack Ryan film series. The film stars Michael B. Jordan, Jamie Bell, Jodie Turner-Smith, Luke Mitchell, Jack Kessie, Brett Gelman, Coleman Domingo, and Guy Pearce. It's going to hit Amazon Prime Video on April 30th, 2021. Kevin, what's the synopsis for Tom Clancy's Without Remorse?
Okay, I just love how you were reading the names of who's in it, because it was like in a world. So that was amazing.
Yeah.
Okay, So
that's good.
All right. So John Clark, a Navy SEAL, goes on a path to avenge his wife's murder, only to find himself inside of a larger conspiracy. All right. Yeah, QAnon might have something to do with his wife's murder, if you ask me.
Oh, my God.
So, Dayngr, what did you think of the trailer for Without Remorse?
Well, anything that has Michael B. Jordan in it has my attention. So they had me at hello, Michael B. I am a Tom Clancy fan, so I love all the stuff that he does. I haven't read this book, so I don't have any I'm not prejudging it, but I thought it looked really good. The only thing that I would say that I was a little disappointed by is, once again, it's like the same old scenario, right? The guy's wife dies, and then suddenly he has to go on this, revenge thing, or he's got to hunt down the bad guys. Like, can we come up with a different reason why the guy is, teaming up with the good guys and going to, fight for his country? Like, maybe he's just patriotic, or maybe he's really good at his job and they recruited him. Like, why is it always the same scenario? Guy's wife dies, guy gets mad, guy goes on a rampage. Like, how about a little bit more creativity, folks? Seriously.
Yeah, I like it better when the girl's husband dies and then she is bent on revenge.
Oh, yes.
So let's mix it up.
Yes. Yeah, I'm all for that. Yeah.
Some peppermint flavor.
Yeah,
Well, you definitely cannot be a woman in a Tom Clancy novel and don't even think about being pregnant, because you will be murdered.
Mm-hmm. Like Disney and those mamas always getting it. But I think this looks really good. I think anybody who likes action is going to enjoy this movie. I love action movies. That's one thing. I'm always down for a good action movie. He's a great actor. I'm sure that everyone else that Tone named I've seen before, but their names don't ring a bell. Sorry, all you B celebrities out there. But yeah, I would see this. I would watch this. I would recommend this. I would share this trailer.
We're still not completely opened up. All the theaters aren't open. And for the
Yeah.
places where theaters are open, some people may not feel comfortable going. So for the time being, our rating system is 2 options: stream it or kill it.
I would stream it.
All right. What about you, Tone?
In a world where Michael B. Jordan has lost his shirt, he's angry. He's walking around with no shirt and punching people.
Did anybody? Yeah, I was gonna say, did anybody notice that literally in the first 2 seconds of the trailer, he rips that shirt off, and if that isn't enough, then he splashes water on himself, just like, oh, let me get wet too. It's just like, it's not enough for me to be shirtless. I need to be wet.
Most of the trailer, Kevin, if you notice, he's in some water. He's like wet most of the trailer.
Yeah, and the girls are not mad about that. And some of the guys are not mad about that either.
Like he loses his shirt. So I'm with Dayngr on this one. I really enjoy the hell out of that Jack Ryan TV show on Amazon Prime, and that's my first introduction to Tom Clancy. Like I'm aware of all the Jack Ryan movies. For some reason, I just never bought into watching any of them. But I'll give it to Dayngr. I was thinking the same exact thing. I'm like, this is basically the Punisher origin story. Like the Punisher's family got taken out by some criminals, and now it's time to punish them.
It's like everybody's. I mean, it's the same. It doesn't matter what you're watching. It's always the same damn thing.
And
but this time there's a conspiracy.
Yeah,
and he takes off his shirt
and he flexes a lot. He flexes a lot. He flexes a lot. A lot.
But I'm with Dayngr though. He's an incredible actor, Michael B. Jordan. Yeah. So I'm sure that he's going to be entertaining. Like I if somebody had told me, hey, this is just Michael B. Jordan running around punching people and killing people, I still would have watched it.
And getting wet.
But let's give this one thing. I watched the trailer, and this is the one trailer about all 4 trailers that we're doing today that didn't have like a montage of soundtrack. Like the actual trailer depended just on the scenes and what was being shown. I don't think the music was like the main backdrop, and I'm going to bring this up today a lot because I thought that trailers have basically become music videos, and this trailer is no musical. This is just basically Michael B. Jordan running around with a gun, getting pissed off. And you know what? I'm here for it, Kevin. It's on Amazon Prime. I canceled Netflix. I'm going to stream it, Kevin.
Okay. All right. So we haven't discussed much about the trailer other than Michael B. Jordan being shirtless in 90% of it.
People. Yeah.
But we have to say at the beginning of the trailer, we see that Michael B. Jordan is like in a prison cell. And so what's happening is he's being warned that they're about to come inside. So how does he prep for a bunch of guys in riot gear coming into a cell? Takes off his shirt and starts wetting himself down. And then we don't even really see a lot of the fight. We just see some flashes, and then all of a sudden we just see a still soaking wet Michael B. Jordan just sitting on his bed, all casual, like he's posing for the cover of a magazine, and all these unconscious police officers there. And then all of a sudden a phone gets dropped into his cell, and this woman says, all right, if you're done, we need you back in the field. I'm like, wait, we need him in the field after that?
I mean, why didn't she just call him before all this ass whooping happened?
Exactly. I thought that exact same thing. It just like, but anyway, so yeah, they need him back in the field. So I guess the whole idea is they're luring him back out into the field to fight for the government by telling him that whoever killed his wife is a part of something that they need his help to get this person or these people. And he's all like, yeah, sign me up. But of course, the government is lying to him, and it goes deeper and further to the top. And I wouldn't be surprised if the president had something to do with bumping off his smoking hot pregnant wife.
Yeah, a little suspicious.
Yeah, and the CIA won't investigate, Kevin.
They won't. They will not reopen the investigation to his smoking hot wife's murder. So,
speaking of smoking hot, what? Someone explain the scene where the car is on fire, and then he goes inside the car that's on fire.
Well, that's how big of a badass he is, and you know what? That explains why he was. I was just gonna say that
he
was wetting himself down because he's gonna be he's going into cars that are on fire, so that's why he's all dripping wet and stuff like that. So at one point at the beginning of the trailer, I wasn't sure if I was watching a trailer for a Tom Clancy movie or Magic Mike 3. So, which I think is kind of both. It
And I'm
might actually be.
okay with
It
that.
might be a low key sequel to Magic Mike.
It might be, and I'm okay with that.
But he's punching people with
One
no
thing I
shirt.
will say, does anybody remember Harrison Ford's movie Air Force One, where
Yes.
there was this climactic thing where Air Force One crashes and the special effects at the time could not have been jankier when the plane crashes? There is a plane crashing and exploding in this movie that we see a glimpse of, and it is amazing how far we've come. Because in that older movie with Harrison Ford, it's literally like somebody got some model and just threw it across the room and just like, okay, and that's when the plane crashed. And it looked so epic and so exciting. The CGI was on point. So even though I'm not normally this isn't the thing that I'd normally just gravitate towards, I have to say, when he sees his wife's dead body, her smoking hot dead body, his reaction, he was going for his Oscar.
He gonna get it.
I'm not laughing at his pain. I feel bad. I'm so sorry, Michael B. I'm so sorry. You lost your wife and your kid. It's really sad.
Yeah.
So because she was very attractive.
She was.
So all right. So I guess for myself. I have to give this a stream it. I think I will watch this. I wish we had a middle rating because I'd give it a middle rating. I will watch it, but I will not rush to watch it the day it comes out. But I will eventually find out who was behind his smoking hot wife's murder. I do want to know at this point.
So is the middle score we procrastinate in watching? We're going to procrastinate watch it? Is that the middle score?
I'm going to procrastinate watch it. Also, I feel like this is just between me and you and my co-host and the listeners. I feel like this movie was designed for a drinking game because every time Michael B. Jordan kills somebody or knocks them out, you need to take a drink, but you do not drive for several days because you may experience alcohol poisoning, and we will not be held responsible. We will not be only a sip, not a whole drink, because it will be alcohol poisoning and subsequent death if you take a full drink every time he kills or knocks somebody out. So just a sip, baby sips,
no sip.
Just tip
Remorse,
it. Just tip it. All right, so don't. Who's our next victim?
Our next victim is Jupiter's Legacy, which is an upcoming superhero streaming series created by Stephen S. DeKnight. It's based on a comic book by Mark Miller and Frank Quitely. This is set to premiere on their streaming service, Netflix, the one that I canceled, on May 7th, 2021. It stars Josh Duhamel, Ben Daniels, Leslie Bibb, Elena Koupouris, Andrew Horton, Matt Lanter, and Mike Wade. It's coming on Netflix, y'all. I don't have Netflix, but go ahead, Kevin. What's the synopsis here?
Oh, my God. Well, I think we already know how Tone's going to vote since he doesn't have Netflix anymore. He kind of ruined the suspense of the whole question of the show. But all right. So in Jupiter's Legacy, the first generation of superheroes have kept the world safe for nearly a century. Now their children must live up to their legacy in an epic drama that spans decades and navigates the dynamics of family, power, and loyalty. All right, Dayngr, what did you think of the trailer for Jupiter's Legacy?
I was so confused by this trailer. I think I watched it like 3 times and I still didn't really understand what was going on, if I'm being honest. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. And then I was watching it and I was like, is that Fergie's husband? Is that Fergie's ex-husband? I kept going,
Yes.
who is that? I'm like, is that huh? And so I have to admit I was a little distracted because I kept trying to figure out if that was him, and then it was very confusing to me. Like, I get that they're like I got the whole idea that they were superheroes, but I didn't understand what
the trailer takes place in different times. So we basically see Josh Duhamel when he is older. And so the idea is that all these supers are passing the torch or trying to pass the torch to their children. And are the children ready, or do they even want the torch passed to them? So we're gonna see a young Josh Duhamel, and we're gonna see Josh Duhamel sporting a gray weave. And
so bad.
So you get 2 Josh Duhamels for the price of 1.
For the price of 1. Yeah. I got, after the 3rd time I got the concept that they're passing the torch here. But I was still confused. I was like, is he Jupiter? Like the god? Why is it called that? I was just, maybe I was thinking a little bit too hard. But yeah, it took me a minute. And then I didn't understand, they're superheroes. Why do they have bruises on their faces?
Well,
What?
they're not. Well, okay. Part of it is they're not immortal. You can even injure Superman if you're big and bad enough. So the idea is they can die. So that means if they couldn't get hurt at all, then that would mean there was absolutely no stakes. And the fact that they've aged, clearly they're aging at a different rate than normal mortals
Mm-hmm.
because 100 years have passed, and Josh Duhamel still has insane abs.
How do you know it was 100 years? Was I not listening? What was going on here with me and this? I
I
don't know.
just
I
I
just
just
couldn't.
read you the synopsis where it says nearly a century has passed since
No,
they've
I
been
mean,
keeping the
no,
world safe.
I mean, like you read it, but I didn't read anything. I just
At
watched the
one part of the
trailer.
trailer, one of the superheroes turns to the other superhero and he says, "It's been 90 years. We've done our part," or something.
Clearly, I
Yeah, so
wasn't
they are basically there. Yeah, so they've been doing this for a while. So they don't
for a
age
while.
the way normal people do. They're still smoking hot, but they all have gray hair at a certain point of the trailer. But it doesn't stop them from being insanely hot.
Yeah, and then it looks like, some of the kids are on board, and some of the other kids are like, "Yeah, I'm not going to do what you did, Dad. Like, I want to go my own way. I don't want to get into the family business."
I got a
So,
TikTok.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Josh,
one of the kids is clearly some kind of influencer, I think.
you may be right. Yeah, yes, definitely with those boots. Um, yeah. So this one just didn't hit for me, but it could have been. It could have just been that I wasn't. It could have been the day that I watched the trailer, and I don't know. I just wasn't feeling it. So I'm gonna say that I'm probably going to kill this one.
All right. Finally, some blood. All right, so
Wow.
so Tone, even though you don't currently have Netflix, how, how
The
did you
question is,
feel?
will this bring me back, Kevin? That's the question. I have a lot of notes because I like Danger was also kind of very confused, and I'm gonna pose all my notes in questions for you because I want you to answer all of these in your response, Kevin.
Oh, but I
It's
want you to end your questions. I want on a high note. I want you to go ask your question, and it was
okay, Kevin. Action Danger. Let's see. Do you find it amazing that this was an action superhero show and it was so boring? So answer that in your response, Kevin.
Okay,
Um,
wait, am I supposed to wait until you finish asking all the questions and then
I
respond or
vote.
respond to
I
each?
vote yes for the
yes.
first question.
Yo, so Kevin, did you find it really boring, even though this was a superhero show? I mean,
See,
superhero
okay,
trailer
I,
for a
I
show.
think I'm going to be the only one feeling anything remotely positive towards this because I feel like you guys are missing the point. There's a mystery at the core of this show.
Well, thank God for you, though.
One of the things is said. One of the things that's said in the trailer is, what we had to do to gain these powers. These people,
Mm.
this group of regular people that all of a sudden came from this island with these superpowers, did some kind of horrible pact with the devil to become godlike.
Oh my
And it's
gosh.
been eating away at them for 90 years.
Taylor
What
Swift and
exactly they
Kanye.
did, we don't know, but I'm sure we will find out at the end of the series what this is, what this pact they made with the devil or whatever was to gain these godlike powers. So I'm
Mm-mm-mm.
curious about what that is. And if you to me it's what's interesting is like it's basically This Is Us with superpowers. So it's a family drama with the family dynamic of like passing the torch to any family business. Do you want a part of it? And there's a line where one of the characters said, if you do the wrong thing, people die. If you do the right thing, people die. So the futility of if you did have the power to save lives, every time you like whenever there's like a perfect example, they try to deal with it in Superman versus Batman. The idea of that epic fight that Superman had in the movie Man of Steel, that a lot of people got killed during that. So when you're fighting some super villain and you're fighting all over Gotham, or you're fighting all over what city do they live in do they live in New York in Superman, or do they Gotham's no Gotham Metropolis.
No, Metropolis. Yeah.
So spectators, innocent people will be killed as you're fighting some horrible monster and all that kind of thing. And so the idea that you could be conflicted and also have resentment at your parents because yes, they're off saving the world. They're pulling school buses full of kids off of mountaintops and stuff like that and stopping volcanoes, but they're not there for you. They're not showing up for your school play. They're not,
That's right.
tucking you in at night.
Mm.
So that whole kind of thing, that dynamic to me is interesting. And like I said before, that central core thing is like, what did they do to get these powers? And why is it still haunting and torturing them to this day?
Illuminati.
So
Now,
the
to
legacy
our
to me.
listeners, Kevin, let's just explain this to them. Everything Kevin said is really interesting, and I would totally be in for it. But the trailer doesn't explain none of that. Like people are still like, that's our problem with the trailer. Like that sounds really interesting, but I didn't get none of that from the trailer, and I watched it 3 times, Kevin.
Me too. Oh my gosh, me too. That's why I say thank God for Kevin.
Yeah, thank God for Kevin.
They should have had
Kevin,
me edit the trailer, but no. But I felt like some of these things are implied because one of the characters does say, what we did for this, and the way they said it, is to me implied that there was something very dark that they had to do to get these powers. Also, there's a line to me that was very powerful when Fergie's ex-husband has said, "With everything I'm doing to hold this family together," and the woman who I believe is his wife says, "Well, it's not working." So it just felt like it's a family drama with superpowers and spandex. So I don't know. Those are 3 great tastes that taste great together. You got abs, you got family drama, you got teen angst, and you got a deep dark secret.
So it's basically a soap opera with capes. That's basically what the trailer looks like. It's like a soap opera with capes, and it's incredibly boring for a superhero action show.
Now, see, I was going to say, I thought the effects that we saw looked better than, I'm going to get in trouble for saying this, but like that super duper, like janky fight sequence at the climax of Black Panther, where it's just like, it looked like an old school video game because it was like no humans were involved in that epic fight. With CGI Michael B. Jordan and a CGI Black Panther going at it. At least the action to me in this trailer looked more grounded in reality. As much as reality as you can ground in a thing where everybody's got capes and superpowers.
So that third part of Black Panther, that's very questionable. But interestingly enough, Kevin, like when I was watching the trailer, I turned to my wife and I'm like, "What you think?" And she says, "I like the song they chose."
Oh, your wife always finds something nice to say.
I like the song they chose. Like they're so comic book accurate. These costumes are really cool looking costumes. Like visually, it looks really amazing. And again, it sounded and looked like a really cool music video. But Kevin managed to get all the reason and the synopsis out of it. I don't think the average person can watch this trailer and come away with all that information, Kevin, unless you sat down there with a piece of paper and like jotted it all down.
All right, fair enough.
But
so
maybe they'll watch it and they'll give us some feedback so we can see everyone else's take on this. But I'm with you. I had to watch it 3 times and I still didn't know what the heck was going on.
Yeah, I'm gonna kill it. I'm just like Dayngr on this one, Kevin. What do you think? I'm killing this one.
Okay, well, I will say that what I liked about this versus, say, Justice League is, except for Wonder Woman, everybody's costume in Justice League is straight up stupid ridiculous. The superhero costumes in this, a Netflix series, they were so much better. So much better. They look so much more plausible. Other than Edna Mode, who doesn't agree with the concept of capes, other than that, their outfits were on point in this. So I guess I am the only one who's going to stream Jupiter's Legacy because I feel like even the name of the show is part of the mystery. I think you're meant to think that Jupiter's Legacy is passing these powers onto their children, but their legacy is regret and about what they did to have the powers that they have. That's why I think that their real legacy is their torment that they have over what they did to become what they are.
Wow.
But I'm trying to think about how bad would I feel to be in my late 90s and still have rockin' hot abs. I don't know. I can't think of any regrets. I'm trying to think of how bad it would have to be for me to regret looking like Josh Duhamel in my late 90s. And I can't think of anything at this point. I don't know. How many orphans and nuns did I have to kill to have these abs?
Oh my gosh.
I don't know. Couple orphans gonna have to go, I guess. Sorry. Good news is you don't have any family to miss you, so that's good.
Yeah, I guess.
All right. So
Wow, Kevin. That's a great transition to our next one. Yeah.
Like, seriously, wow.
I know I feel so guilty. All right. But look at my abs. But anyway. Okay. All right. So
That was totally
Tone,
unplanned.
what's our
Yes.
next victim?
Our next victim is Those Who Wish Me Dead. It's an upcoming action survival thriller directed by Taylor Sheridan. The film stars Angelina Jolie, Nicholas Hoult, Finn Little, Aidan Gillian, Medina Singor, Tyler Perry, Jake Weber, and John Bernthal. Speaking of The Punisher, Those Who Wish Me Dead is scheduled to be released on May 14, 2021. This one is a Warner Brothers picture, so you will be able to watch it in theaters and on HBO Max. Kevin?
All right, a teenage murder witness finds himself pursued by twin assassins in the Montana wilderness, with a survival expert tasked with protecting him, and a forest fire threatening to consume them all. All right, Dayngr, what did you think of the trailer for Those Who Wish Me Dead?
I thought it looked really interesting. I think it's going to have some great special effects. If I am not mistaken, they actually created an entire mini forest just so they could burn it down. Like not a real forest, but like a mini forest. So that's interesting, and it looks like the special effects are going to be really good. I like Angelina Jolie. I like Nicholas Hoult. I don't think that kid looked like a teenager to me, but okay,
I think
nonetheless.
he's 13, maybe. He's 12 to 13.
Yeah, he's about 12 and a half. It's interesting because, at the beginning, they show in the trailer that, there's a car accident. Obviously, someone is pursuing them. There's a car accident. His dad, he says that his dad tells him, if anything happens to me, find someone you can trust. And so, there's a whole backstory there that we're not getting just from this trailer. And then there's a whole backstory with Angelina Jolie, which, I mean, I get the backstory with the kid because that leads to the accident, but I didn't really feel like there was a need for her to have a backstory. Like, why can't she? Again, I'm sorry, I'm just like the critic, right? Why did she have to have this whole painful backstory? Why couldn't she just be a forest ranger that works there, right? Why did she have to have this whole like terrible backstory where all her whole team was killed and now she's like riding, an office chair type of thing? She's just like a scout, a fire scout, like up in the tower. Why couldn't
Okay,
she just have chosen that as a job?
can I answer your
Sure.
question? Okay, to me
Sure.
there's a reason dramatically why you would have this. First of all, Angelina Jolie, to me, this is just my impressions from the trailer. She was a firefighter and she worked with the team. Her team
Right.
is dead, and so now she's dealing with that depression and that regret and feeling responsible for their loss.
Yeah,
So
as she should. She
she's
misjudged.
she misjudged, and so she is now out in the middle of nowhere working by herself in solitude. That is why she's
Mm-hmm.
out in the middle of nowhere, because of that dark past. Also, when
But
she encounters this kid, it makes her even more determined to do whatever it takes to save him because of the guilt she feels about losing
okay.
her team. So
I'll let
she's
you
willing
have that.
because at one point someone says in the trailer, "Are you willing to die for this kid?" And the answer is an equivocal yes. She is willing to die because she's not going to let
Mm.
anyone else die on her friggin' watch.
Okay. I'll give you that. I wasn't feeling that, but I'll give you that. I could see that. But still, just saying, she could be a forest ranger that works in the tower without a dark past and still want to save a kid because she's a woman and we have very nurturing tendencies. But I'm just saying. But anyway, yeah, it looks really good. I think this is going to be a thriller, and I think it's going to be extra cool because there's going to be what was dad and son, what were they running from, who are these assassins, how is Tyler Perry, how does he play in this? I That's going to be interesting too. And then for those who love The Walking Dead, you're going to see a familiar character from The Walking Dead, so that might be a reason to watch. I think this is going to be really interesting, and I think the special effects are going to be really cool. I would say I will stream this. I will watch this. This looks good. What about you, Tone?
I was I was just thinking. I was racking my brain. I'm like, who's from The Walking? Oh, John Bernthal from John
Yeah,
Burn.
Shane. He played
Yeah,
Shane.
Shay. Yeah, it's funny like how everything is a reference point in life because he was Shane until he became the Punisher. And now he's the Punisher to me, and
Oh,
I can't remember
true.
Shane.
Yeah, you're like, who?
Interestingly enough, I was watching something where he said that he was really grateful that he got it's been 11 years. He got killed, people. If you don't know that, screw you. You're too bad. It's not a
Yeah.
spoiler.
Yeah.
Because
Spoiler
then
alert!
he got
I
to
have
go
not
off and
seen
be
that
the
episode
Punisher.
yet, Tone.
Wow,
Thanks.
Kevin.
Oops.
11 years, Kevin. It's ending this year. Too bad. So yeah, so those who wish me dead. Very interesting. I'm on Danger's side again on this one because it's against Kevin, so that's great.
Ah,
I felt like this was two movies in this trailer,
yeah.
and let me point out that Taylor Sheridan is the same. The director of this is the same person who also wrote Without Remorse, so he's been really busy. So that's the other trailer we talked about earlier, Without Remorse. And he also wrote Sicario. He wrote Hell on High Water. He wrote Yellowstone and Wind River. So he has. I've really enjoyed his films so far, the ones that he's written. And this time he's actually directing. So that's definitely. I think this is that the movie definitely has that going for it because I really enjoyed Wind River with two Avengers in it. So yeah, so this I agree with Danger's with her overview of this, basically that the whole why it couldn't have just been. I thought it was really interesting at the beginning because we have Angelina Jolie, she's on this tower, and we see that she lost her team, like Kevin
Yeah.
said. And she misjudged the situation, and she's the only one living. I thought that alone would have been a cool movie,
Yeah.
but then they had to introduce like the generic, like there's somebody trying to get this kid, and I have to say, like, it's like a completely different movie. So it's like these two movies like clash in the middle of this trailer. You have Angelina Jolie, she has a lot of baggage from her past. She's like Yogi the Bear, but she's really sad. She's on top of a tower, and you have this kid and his father who's being chased by these assassins, and these assassins go into the forest, into Angelina Jolie's territory. And I thought it was really interesting because in the trailer, one of the assassins starts a fire becomes this giant forest fire, and it's like, oh, now I know what Angelina Jolie had to lose all her friends for because now they're in her house, right?
Mhm.
So I don't know. I that kind of made it kind of. I really wish like they had taken her and her skill set and brought it into like the regular world, and we seen that rather than the assassins going into her world, which is like the forest. But nonetheless, it looks like a really interesting movie. I'm a fan of Angelina Jolie. Like, there's so much talent, like Danger said in this movie. There's so many people, like Tyler Perry. Always find it interesting when he plays like a complete like straight serious character. So
Mhm.
that there's that. John Bernthal is a great actor as well. So a lot of interesting cast in this film. The trailer, I just really like how I really wish that they didn't add so much music. I really there was some aspects of it that felt like kind of like an indie movie at the beginning, and I wish it kind of went there more. But it just became like basically an all action, fire woman versus fire versus assassins thing. So I'm gonna watch it. It's on HBO Max. I'm gonna watch this. I'm gonna stream this. This looks pretty interesting to me. Kevin, answer me this question because I'm sure you probably paid attention and figured this out. Who is the guy who plays his father? He looks so damn familiar. Where do we know him from?
I felt the same way, and I can't figure out where I know him, but I absolutely have seen him, and I can't figure out from where. But I absolutely, like you, I know him.
He
We've seen
looks
him
so
somewhere
yeah.
before.
We've seen him somewhere. I can't just put my finger on it though.
All right, I am so surprised that I am again the only one really excited. I disagree with both of you in the fact
But we
that
both want to stream it. We're excited.
well,
Yeah.
I feel like
I'm
the
I'm
idea. I feel like there is a necessary story with the idea of what Angelina Jolie's backstory is, because the idea that she's in the wilderness, it literally is she's out in the middle of nowhere, and their explanation of why she's in the middle of nowhere. Even one of the new firefighters says something to her when she's at some meeting, going like, "Why the hell are you in that tower out in the middle of nowhere?" kind of
Yeah.
thing. And so this is the reason why, because of her own guilt. She doesn't want anybody to be on her watch. She had a position where she had people under her, and now because of that loss, she refuses to have anybody depend on her. She just wants to be like he said, like Tone said, Yogi Bear. She wants to be out in the middle of nowhere to basically just feel guilty and punish herself for the rest of her life. And then all of a sudden, this kid comes into her world, and she's got somebody that she has to care for. And what I like about this, unlike Michael B. Jordan's character in the other Without Remorse, she is not some kind of badass munitions expert or some CIA agent or something like that. She is a firefighter. She knows that. So is she about the life of kicking asses of twin assassins? No. So the idea, like with Michael B. Jordan, you have no fear. He's never really in jeopardy. You know he's going to get out whatever he's facing. With Angelina Jolie, absolutely, I'm afraid for her. I'm afraid for the kid she's trying to protect. Will they get through this? I am in. Also, I don't know about you two, but I was getting some serious Sigourney Weaver and Aliens vibes from Angelina Jolie. Sigourney Weaver couldn't save Newt, but hopefully Angelina Jolie will save this kid. Oh, I'm sorry. Spoiler alert if you haven't seen the end of Aliens. Or I should say the beginning
From
of Aliens
1979.
3. Aliens 3. Because, yeah, Newt does not make it. But anyway.
Oopsies. Listen, I'm just glad that we have a woman who is the main character, and she's an action hero in this movie, and she's doing it all and not doing it in high heels. Because if I see one more movie with a woman who has to do everything that a man has to do in an action movie, but she's doing it in stilettos, I'm just saying.
Take that, Black Widow. But anyway, no. So I am all in. There is a sequence in the trailer that looks amazing where the killers are closing in and the fire is closing in, and she pulls this kid into this lake, and she tells him to take a deep breath and hold her hand, and they fall back into the water, and then we see a firestorm that they're looking up above the water. That looks amazing. It looks absolutely amazing. I can't wait to see what innovative ways she finds to kill these assassins that are trying to kill her and that kid. And I hope at the end of it, not only does she save the kid, but she finds redemption and she gets to be a mom to this kid that Dayngr doesn't think is actually a teen. So I need the whole story, and I need Angelina Jolie to take out Tyler Perry. Take that, Medea. So I can't wait. I am streaming it.
Okay.
Wow, you're really
I am
really into this
in.
one. I see that.
All right, so
all in.
Tone, what's our last victim?
Alrighty, so our last victim is the Mosquito Coast. It's an upcoming drama television series. It's based on a book of the same name by Paul Theroux. There's also a movie, but this one right here is a streaming series. It's premiering on Apple TV on April 30th, 2021. As far as the cast, we have Justin Theroux, we have Melissa George, we have Gabriel Bateman, we have Logan Polish, and we have Kimberly Elise. Kevin, what's the synopsis for Mosquito Coast?
All right, sit back, people, because we're going to be here for a while. An idealist uproots his family and moves them to Latin America. And we're done.
Okay.
So the synopsis gives zero away. The trailer tells you so much more than that synopsis. All right, so Dayngr, what did you think of the trailer, which hopefully gave you more information than the synopsis just did, of the Mosquito Coast?
It did. I gotta say, this one sucked me in. It really did. I thought the trailer was really good. I like Justin Theroux anyway, but I thought the trailer was really interesting. It starts off with the daughter being a little suspicious, like she's hiding something. You get a little of the teen angst there because she's basically saying something to the effect that she wants to, she hasn't decided where she's going to college yet. She's like following her boyfriend or something. So you already know there's going to be drama because, one, she's a teenager, two, she has a boyfriend. So, and you get the impression early on that there's this really great family dynamic there because, mom and dad are like super in love and they go way, way, way back because they do like, they throw a little reference to that. And then, and it's all looking like it's a great little family thing going on. But there might be a little bumps in the road because, teen angst. And then all of a sudden it just takes a big ass turn because you see like there's a car following them on the road one day. Dad and son are in the car. There's a car following them, and he mentions it, and then dad's like, yeah, those people aren't from the bank. And he like whips at you, and the next thing you know, he's throwing cell phones out the window. He's telling his wife, pack it up, we gotta go. It just looks very exciting, and there's a whole lot more to the trailer than, like you said, there is to that description. So one of the really interesting parts of this that I thought was funny is, and I'm paraphrasing, so I'm going to get this totally wrong, I'm sure, but I'm sure you probably have notes on it, Kevin, and you'll probably say it better than I will. But the dad, Justin, he's like, this is going to seem like really bad parenting, but we're going on an adventure, and it made me laugh because as a parent. It made me laugh because there's so many times that things happen that you don't plan for. Of course, not like this, but I'll say to my kids, well, it's always an adventure when you go out with me. You just never know what's going to happen. But this takes adventure to a whole other level. You can see that mom and dad are embroiled in something that the kids obviously don't know about. You're thinking dad is a total badass, but then you realize, like, towards the middle of this trailer, mom's just as badass as dad is. And it kind of leaves you in the lurch. You don't really know if the daughter is going to be on board with the family while they're on the run, or she's going to snitch them out. So this looks like it's going to be a really, really good movie, and I'm going to say that I'm going to stream it.
It's actually a series.
Well, I'm going to watch all of it.
What did you think, Tone?
Every last minute.
I was waiting for the part where she says, why did this person have to die to build them up? So nobody died in this one. That's why Danger's so happy. Have you noticed that? Have you been paying along to this?
Yeah, there's a mom and a dad. No one was killed.
He's like, nobody had to die to build up these characters. I love it.
Yes. Yeah.
So at first, when I was, I just want to point out, I said this is based on a novel by Paul Theroux, and it's starring Justin Theroux.
That's right.
And I was a little, when I was looking this up, just for the people who are listening. Yes, there is a relation there. Paul Theroux is the uncle of Justin Theroux.
Wow.
So the Theroux family is very creative. There's a lot of people who are successful in different fields there. So that was very interesting. Because at first I'm like, wait a second, Paul Theroux, that's such an interesting last name. It can't be a coincidence. Now something interesting also, that Justin Theroux's middle name is Paul. Also.
Oh wow. Maybe he was named after his uncle.
So maybe it's possible because his uncle's Paul Theroux and he's Justin Paul Theroux. So for the people who are wondering, that's the connection there. So you have this this family in this trailer who at first, this trailer starts out very interesting because it starts out feeling like a small indie movie. Like you have these small moments with the father and his kids and the mom, and they're just, like a typical family. And the trailer then starts to build, and then you start to realize that, well, this there's something interesting happening with this family. There's some type of maybe criminal element or something that they're hiding. Then the trailer builds even more and more, and then the soundtrack, something that I was talking about earlier in the show, is that so far, like something that they taught us in when I went, God knows how long ago now, when I was in film school, is that music and sound can act as a great cover for less than engaging filmmaking. So if you do a scene and it's okay, if you throw some music behind it, you can definitely cover that. Music is amazing that way. Music delivers feeling automatically. Like that. That's the purpose of music, is an art, because it makes us feel something. So not to say that the cinematography or anything in the trailer was lackluster, but I'm just saying, like, in trailers in general, I just want to point that out, that the more trailers that I've watched, the more that I notice that the music has become such a big part of these trailers that growing up, the trailers were more like scenes cut together, and it was all about, a line here or this line or something else, or this creepy scene that happened. Now it's become more like, Suicide Squad, or like you saw the recut of Zack Snyder's Justice League. It's like a music video, like a big opera style music video. So in Mosquito Coast, I thought it was interesting that the trailer began like an old school trailer, which was like a small trailer with like these interactions. You see the characters, you kind of get, a
Yeah.
glimpse of who they are. And then it slowly builds more and more. And at the end of the trailer, it's like a damn musical. Like it's like really big. It becomes a bunch of action scenes. And you went with this family who you thought was a nice, cool little indie film. And now it's like an action blockbuster and everybody has guns in their hands. And I was like, what the hell? So my wife, I turned to her and I'm like, what'd you think? And she's like, it's just like the Ozarks. And I'm like, oh, smack, you're right. It's like the Ozarks, which is a great show, by the way. So yeah, I think it's definitely, it looks really interesting. But I thought it was, I don't know. This is a series, so I can see that the trailer obviously was like 2 minutes or something. So I can see that throughout the series, it'll slowly build to the point that we feel comfortable with those kids at the beginning having guns. but in a movie, like, if again, this is not a movie, this is a series, this is a streaming show. The trailer just it kind of seemed like a shock to my senses that they went from like this small, like, indie movie setting, and at the end of it was like this full blockbuster. They were like in some other country and they were flying cars into sand and stuff. So it seems pretty interesting. Like, I'll stream it. It's on Apple TV. I'll have to find out how do you even watch Apple TV? Like, but I'm definitely gonna stream it. It seems pretty interesting. But I just wish this is more like the way that the trailer was shot. I just wish like they released a different trailer, which was all action, and like they just stuck to like one theme. I just feel like the trailer, like it went from 0 to 100. What about you, Kevin? Did you feel the same?
Okay, again, you guys keep leaving me out here on my own because it's like I feel like we're watching different trailers or having very different interpretations of what we're watching. So I love the opening sequence of the trailer because I feel like that's going to give us the vibe for the very beginning of the show, the very first episode. Because I believe, to me, my hunch is by the middle of the first episode, toward the end of the first episode, they will be on the run. And so I thought it was neat. At the beginning, we see that the girl is looking at something that she's not supposed to be looking at. And her brother asks her, so, have you decided where you want to go to college? And then she goes, well, me and my boyfriend are talking about it. We haven't decided. And so her father's like, wait, you're not going to let where you go to college be decided by some boy or following him. And so then she goes, but what about you and mom? And before he can say anything, he goes, don't say that you and mom had a bond. And then he yells out to his wife, like Claire, whatever her name is. And then she goes, do you want me to say that we had a bond? I just thought that I love that. I thought that was so cute that they have been through that many, many times. So I love the family dynamic, that they love each other. There's humor there. There's love there. I'm all in with that. And then we all of a sudden get the idea that, okay, there's more to this, where they live out seemingly in the middle of nowhere, like they're in the middle of Nebraska or someplace, but apparently not so out in the middle of nowhere that they have not been found, and that they have to go on this epic adventure. And then what I love is there's a scene where clearly somebody who works for the FBI or whatever who's pursuing the parents. The girl is on a payphone, the teenage daughter. She's on a payphone with this woman, and she says, why are you doing this to them? And so then the woman on the other end of the line says, she goes, why are they doing this to you? So is she willing, for her love of her parents, to not have the life that she wanted to have, the boyfriend she wanted to have, the college experience, all of that, all of it's gone because of whatever they did in their past. And they did something hinky, because when they have to pack up a bag and leave in 15 minutes without any other notice, the mother opens up something and there is stacks of cash. So where did that money come from? What have they done? And are they the good guys or are they the bad guys? Who's who? And the kids having to figure it out. At least in the trailer, the brother seems to have the resolve of he's in it with the parents, and the chink in the armor is the daughter. Now, I think they're going to flip it and reverse it, and it's going to turn out anybody's going to rat anybody out. I think it's going to end up being the son when he finds out the life that their parents actually did have, that bond that they had supposedly. What was it, a Bonnie and Clyde like bond? So I don't know.
That scene where he's crying, right?
Exactly. There's a scene. I'm like, I think that the realization of who his parents actually are might change his allegiance, and so it looks damn compelling. Now, what I can't figure out is this a limited series, as in 8 episodes and beginning, middle, and end, and we're done, or if they're going to try and continue it like something like Tone said, like Ozark? Because to me, this feels like the kind of a pot boiler that can only be sustained for like 8 episodes to tell this story.
This reminded me a lot of like the Americans. You remember that show?
I do remember The Americans.
It's very. That's what it reminded me of to a certain degree.
Well, the difference is with this anyway. I guess in The Americans, those kids didn't know about their parents were spies, and so I guess
they didn't.
These kids don't know about their parents' colorful past, let's say. But anyway, Justin Theroux is good in everything. The actress who plays his wife, I like the fact that she's like badass too, and
she's a good actress too.
Yeah, this feels like such a great summer show. This feels like something's going to be so fun to watch as it starts to heat up. Make some lemonade, pack a picnic lunch, get your laptop, go outside and sit under a tree and watch this, because I think it's going to be super exciting. So I am in. I can't wait to see how it all shakes out. But I do hope it's a limited series. I don't want a season 2 of this, because the show is called The Mosquito Coast. And if we're on the run in a particular place and people are coming to get us, how many other Mosquito Coasts are there? Because you're not going to stay in that same place when they find you there in Mexico. So this needs to be a one and done, Justin Theroux. So don't sign up for a season 2.
Where is the Mosquito Coast? Isn't that like...
It's supposed to be in Mexico. They go to Mexico.
But I don't think that's really where the Mosquito Coast is, though. I think it's like
in Florida someplace, I would assume. There's a lot of mosquitoes there.
I think there's an actual place called the Mosquito Coast. It's like... But anyway.
And this also seems to This also seems to differ from the movie, I think, because I don't think did the movie have an action element? I thought the movie was about just taking your kids from a regular life.
This is completely different. I think this is a completely different story.
That's what I was thinking. So anyway, whatever story it is, I have to admit, I am streaming it. I can't wait to see where this all shakes out and where it ends up. And again, I've already picked my picnic lunch for outside, so I can't wait to watch it.
Okay.
All right. I can't believe we got to the end of another episode, you guys.
Another one. What Danger? What do we say? This is so nice. This is nice. What's the saying?
Oh my gosh, I forgot.
Oh God, sorry, Kevin. Go ahead. Take it away, Kevin. Danger forgot.
I got it. That's what's up.
That's what's up. And that's not twaddle, kiddos.
Oh my God. We have 2 catchphrases now. Anyway, man. You can't help but tell all your friends, Gen Y, about this incredible podcast. All right. We can't review every trailer, but we do want a trailer talk about the movies and TV shows you want us to. So if you see a trailer you'd like us to review, let us know. You can send us a voice message on the Anchor app, or you can let us know on Twitter and Instagram. We're at Last Weekly on both. And you can catch episodes of Last Weekly on YouTube. So please follow and leave comments. We like the comments so much. So thanks for listening and supporting our show on social media. We really appreciate it. And don't forget to join us for the next episode of Last Weekly, because the week doesn't end. Say it with me, co-host. Until we say so.
That's
not even close. Not even close.
That's what's up.
That's what's up.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
That's what's up.
Get this. That's what's up.